meet on. We're kind of the first, this group here is the first group that's actually connected globally using this medium. And it's groundbreaking. And I think we can change the way the business is built. And we can change how people grow their business, because this basically allows me to become the your virtual sponsor. Because I've spoken with lots of people this week through the Facebook group, and I love hearing from people in different situations. And a lot of people are, tell me, I'm in an area, I don't have a sponsor, I don't have an upline, I don't have anyone to work with, no one's really sat down and taught me how to do the business. And we hear that a lot. Every area I go to, I hear it. That was one of the reasons we wanted to do this. And it makes me so happy that we're able to do it. And so I want to thank you all for being part of it, because I think we're part of something big. And it's gonna take the company to a whole new level. It's gonna take the shopping annuity to a whole new level. It's because of you guys. And like I always say, I believe in you. I believe in a lot of you more than you believe in yourselves, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, anyone can become a director above in this company if they just follow the simple system. And that's what the 6x6 is. 6 weeks to learn the basics to build a 6-figure residual income. That's what it is. And I'm excited to get started. So without any further ado, let's dive in today. First of all, I want to thank all the new teams that decided to participate. And we are planning on having a spreadsheet, which we will have to keep track of everything. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. We couldn't finish it because we had so many new teams jumping on as late as today. A lot of new people asked if they could join. And I didn't want to turn anybody away, because the whole point here is for all of us to do this together. And I think the more people we get participating in a program like this, the better the results will be, the better the traction we'll get, and we'll be able to make the shopping community household word that much faster. So welcome to all the new participants. I don't want to take a lot of time to recap, because we've done it 2 weeks in a row now. But I think it's important to just briefly recap so that the new people know where to get the information and know how to get started properly. So I'm just going to take 5 minutes to recap a little bit about what we've talked about. So if you're new on the group, I have to assume at this point you've been added to our global 6x6 page. Now the global 6x6 page, this page here, this is our global 6x6 page. That's the page for the people participating in our accountability group. That's the page for the people that have signed the contract and done the assessment and done the other things that they needed to do to be part of this team. And the reason I'm trying to keep that separate and kind of well, here's the reason. This should be an elite group. We've committed to each other over the next 6 weeks, we're going to do something to take our business to the next level. And again, I don't want to overwhelm anyone. There was a lot of paperwork and people were posting stuff, and it looked a little confusing. Don't get confused. It's not that overwhelming. Let me just break it down for you and keep it simple. So hopefully you're part of the global 6x6, because this is the page we're going to interact on as a team. If you're part of this team now, starting tomorrow, we're going to cut it off. There's not going to be any more teams added after tomorrow. You're either on or you're not. And if you're not, that's okay. Because if you have new people that join and they want to participate, they can still go on our how-to 6x6 page, and they can get a lot of the same information on this page. And we're updating all the files with updated stuff to make sure everybody's kind of on the same page. But I just want to make sure that for this group, for the next, well, it's going to be 7 weeks starting tonight, we are one team, one dream on this page, working together for one common goal, which is adding partners to our organization and expanding distribution through the shopping area. Are we all cool with that? So that's that, the global 6x6. That's where we're going to participate. So hopefully everyone's on there now. I had a few people, let me back up. I had a few people go on the global 6x6, and if you're watching this meet on broadcast tonight, and you asked to be added, but you weren't added by someone, and I couldn't tell if you were part of a team, I didn't accept everyone, only because this is not a group for people to kind of dip their toe in the water and check it out. These are for people that have committed and decided they want to do something for the next 6 weeks, and something is relevant to you. Whatever your something is what you're going to do. So don't get overwhelmed. But I didn't want to just add anyone who has to be added, because now the word has got out, people have heard about it. And I want to keep it our elite group, the people that we've committed to each other for the next 7 weeks. So I want to keep it like our elite group. So after tomorrow, no one else will be added. If you bring new partners on, you can add them to the How To 6x6 and get them ramped up for the next 6x6 group that we'll do in 10 weeks, leading up to World Conference. So that being said, you would go on, and then if you're new to this and you haven't done it and you're a captain, you're going to sign a contract, you're going to put your team together, make sure they know to go on under files and get all the information on the global 6x6 Facebook page. You'll then go through, you can print out the steps. We've had a few people bring some things to our attention about the steps. Some of the steps were a little confusing because of some of the forms they're going to use. So this has been all updated. We'll have it updated and edited by tomorrow. It'll be all fresh and make sure it makes sense for everyone on a global scale, because some things weren't available. So get the steps, make sure they print out the stuff. Make sure your partners, if you're a new team member, I know most of you did because I can see the numbers of who watched what. Most of you had your teammates, and most of the people on this broadcast have watched the first two videos. One explaining why we're doing this, the second one last week with Elizabeth recapping everything and going over the paperwork, the information, where to find what you need, what you should be doing to get that ramp up week, which I'm going to go over too in a second. And basically just making sure you know what information you need and where to find it. And that's another important thing. This group, as I said last week, if you watched my broadcast with Elizabeth, I want to thank her for being on the broadcast last week. She was a fabulous addition, and I love working with Elizabeth and having her part of this 6x6. She's put a massive team together. She's going to be participating with us too, and she couldn't be more excited also. But one of the things I said was this is an accountability group. Now, what I mean by that is we don't want to babysit anybody. No offense, we love everybody. But this is about not being accountable to me or being accountable to Elizabeth or being accountable to your team captain. It's about being accountable to yourself for 6 weeks. And that's the important thing here, because what we're trying to do is create leaders and create business owners that are going to take control of their business and take it to the next level by following the simple steps that we're going to lay out here. So it's important that you follow the system. And the system is you watch the videos that we put out each week, because one builds on the next. Each week in this 6 week, or now 7 weeks, I don't want to confuse them, it's 7 weeks because we're going to do a wrap up week. But during the next 6 weeks of our accountability group, each week is going to build on the week prior. So if you've got teammates that aren't, participating and watching the broadcast, you're going to have a problem because they're not going to know what's going on. And no offense to them, it's not, I don't want to make this overcomplicated. It's not. But the information is going to build on each week, because it was very simple for me to, we got a lot of questions, and let me focus on something else before we move on. I love the questions. The questions are fabulous. And I don't mind, people are private messaging me the questions, and I've gotten back to every single person. But what you have to understand is we weren't expecting this to be over 1,200 people. We were expecting it to be a few hundred people. We're at over 1,200 people with like 80 teams. We were inundated, my wife and I, with private message questions. And no offense, don't take this wrong. We answered every one of them, but it's very, very time consuming for us to do that. And the reason we don't want to do it is not because of that. It's because we want you to ask the question on the global 6x6 page. Because I can assure you, if you have a question about something that you weren't sure about or wasn't clear to you that we went over in the videos, someone else has the same question. And some of them were fantastic questions. And a lot of you brought some things to our awareness that we didn't know were confusing. And we needed to change a few things and fix a few things and make some things possible. For instance, I did not know that Market Australia and Market Singapore and some of the other markets do not have access to the same audio library we have. Well, that was important because I asked everyone to listen on an audio that you didn't have access to. But one of our partners put that in a Dropbox, and now everyone has access to the same audio. So we'll make sure that each week we all have access to the material. I did not know that. So these questions are good questions, but we want them asked on the forum, which is the Global 6x6, because this is a learning tool. This is where we're all going to work together and learn together. And each question, I can assure you, other people have the same question. And I want to make sure the captains know the answers to the questions too. So it's not that I don't want to answer the questions personally. I do monitor this every day, and I'm becoming addicted to it. I'm watching it all day, but I can't answer all the questions. So that's why we put a team of advisors, and I want to thank them again one more time. I want to thank all my advisors: Sadie Shaw, Dale Roberts, Kevin and Becky Byer, Pat and Deline Goody, Donna Hoy, who's been my senior advisor. She's been fantastic. Darlene Walsh, Sharon and Peter Kaiser, and Ryan Kimball. Thank you guys for being part of this and helping me field some of the questions. I know they're on now monitoring, so if you have any questions, you can ask them in the live feed that I see a ton of people chimed into now, or you can go on the Global 6x6 if you want to do it later. If you think of a question, you can ask on the Global 6x6. I almost like that better because then people can see the answer. Sometimes this feed is going so fast I'm watching it now, I can't keep up with it as I try and look at it. That's why I can't even look at it. It distracts me. So I want to talk about the different weeks. So I want to talk about recapping the ramp-up week. The ramp-up week, we made these available under Files. So you'll go under the Files tab on the Global 6x6, and each week we're going to put our next week's curriculum up so you can follow along. Hopefully you printed out this week's, which is week 1 curriculum. It looks like this. I just updated it. But let's recap last week's, what the ramp-up week is supposed to do. Well, you're supposed to start out with basic coring with your group. Now, what is a coring? Some people may not even know what a coring is. A coring is simply a get-together with your team. You're going to meet at someone's house. You're going to get together to discuss a certain topic and go over it and try and get better at it. Whether it's booking appointments, whether it's making phone calls, whether it's rapid fire. But I'm going to talk about some of the things that we're going to do this week in our coring. So you're going to get together with your team, try to put a team together. That's what you would do the first week, the ramp-up week. And I know some of you are new, so I'm just going over this briefly so that we can all get on the same page. You're going to create a Facebook group for your team and name your team. Come up with a cool name for your team that everyone agrees on so that you can be, distinguished. Everyone's part of the team. That's always fun. You're going to print out and read all through the 6x6 forms. There's not that many. It's just basically the steps so everyone understands what we're trying to do. They understand to get on the Facebook group, and they know where to get the forms and stuff that we're going to fill out. We've even simplified that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You're going to have them watch the videos. I want to make sure everyone's up to speed on the same page. Once you do this the first ramp-up week, the rest of the weeks are really simple. We're just going to do the result-producing activities to take our business to the next level. The ramp-up week is to get all the stuff out of the way so everyone knows where to get their forms. They're all set for the 6 weeks. They watch the explanation. They know what to do and what to expect, and it's very simple. Next, you're going to print out the forms. We made it simple. We combined the forms. There was some confusion on the page, excuse me, this week. People were asking where to find Jim Winkler's tracking form because that was in the steps. I apologize. That was confusing. We have updated it and combined it into one 1032 and a point tracking sheet on one page. Simple way, you print out one page, you put all your documents on one page. It makes it simple for you, makes it simple for the captain, and we're trying to make this easy. We don't want anyone to be overwhelmed with papers and this, that, and the other thing, so we put them all on one form. So we took Jim Winkler's tracking sheet. Not that I didn't think that was a great tool. It is an awesome tool, but I just thought we could make it simpler by combining the categories. And this will be tweaked if we need to tweak it as we go and need to add something up there. If you have suggestions, we want to hear them. But that being said, don't get hung up on every dot too. Don't get stuck on the dots with this as we go. There might be a typo, or there might be, this, that, and I get calls, people say, oh, there's a typograph. I get it. We're trying to do this stuff. Don't worry about that stuff. Look at the bigger picture, which is building our business and getting our businesses where we want it to go. So you're going to go over the form. Make sure your people have the form. You're going to just go through a basic 5 diagnostic. Make sure they do a shopping annuity assessment. Make sure they fill out the shopping annuity in the Declaration of Financial Independence and sign that. Then you're going to schedule out your next 8 weeks. Basically, you're going to schedule out home business presentations, retail events, HBPs, UBPs. Let everyone know what trainings are going on in the NMTSS for the next 8 weeks. Because if you joined our 6-week accountability group, look, I don't expect you to go crazy. Some of you will. Hopefully you will. I know I plan on it. And I know a lot of people I've talked to have just said, get out of my way. I'm tired. I'm ready to get busy. I'm going to take this to a new level. We've already added, I think, almost 10 new partners. We've added new PIN levels. things are already taking off. We haven't really started yet, but you want to book everything out, because if you're part of this global accountability group for the next 8 weeks or 7 weeks now, we've done our first week, you're going to be expected to show up to NMTSS events. If there's one in your area, you committed to being part of this, I expect you to attend that event. Now, I understand that sometimes there's family issues and there's reasons that you can't get there. I'm not unreasonable. I have a life too, and I have children and I have grandchildren, but I want you for the next 6 to 7 weeks to commit to yourself to get to the events that you can. I mean, put things on hold for a few weeks, get to the events, watch what happens to your business when you do this. So we're going to do those simple things, get everything scheduled out. All points accumulated last week over that ramp up week, it was kind of a bonus week for everyone, you can add to this week. So a lot of you are already way ahead. That's why the people like I was just saying, a lot of people have already added new partners. They've added new UFO levels. They're already got the momentum going into the first week, so they're hitting the ground running. That's the fun part about this. Be sure everyone on your team is up to speed, knows where to find everything. And here's the biggest thing. I hope you can see this at the bottom. It says, have fun. This should be fun. Listen, most people, when they start this business, already have a job that they don't like going to all that much. Let's not make this that. Let's have fun with this. Let's get together. Have everyone bring a dish to pass to your courings. Hang out afterwards and party if you want to. Just have fun doing this business, and then people want it. So that's my brief recap. I apologize that we have to recap again, but I think it's important for us all to go over it. And I know some people put together binders and stuff. That might be a good idea for the team captain to put together a binder so they have all the forms in the binder. I should probably have one now because my forms are all over my desk as usual. My wife said I'm unorganized, but that's just the way I roll. Sorry. Well, okay, so let's talk about this week. Week 1 curriculum. This week is focused on attitude and knowledge. It's one of my favorite weeks other than prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. Attitude and knowledge is really what this business is about. JR always talks about it, we've all been brainwashed our entire lives. We're brainwashed to go work a 9-to-5 job. I loved Fat Joe's segment when the guy started giving him grief about his marketing thing. And Fat Joe said, oh, you think your 9 to 5 is going to make you rich? Breaking news, you've been doing it 45 years, you ain't rich yet. You know, that really struck a chord with me because people don't know what we know. So it was interesting to listen to that. But that comes with attitude and knowledge. But you got to get the knowledge before you get the attitude. So this week's going to focus on attitude and knowledge. Each week we're going to build on the basic 5, and attitude and knowledge is the first one. It's one of my favorite ones. So this is a fun week for us to go over. So I'm just going to go over what the curriculum is. And as a team captain, hopefully you've printed this out already and you're going over it with me because basically, again, I'm your virtual sponsor. Pretend you're all sitting in my living room right now and I'm going over this with you. This is what I would be going over. If this was a live pouring, which basically it is, it's just I'm doing it into a camera, which is a little freaky to me, but I guess I'm getting more used to it. But basically, I'm talking directly to you like you're all part of my team. You're sitting in my living room right now, my virtual living room, and I'm going to do this course, and I'm going to go through it briefly. But what I want you to do is have this printed out, and you can go over it now this week with your team. People need to hear this stuff more than once, and your spin on it may be a little bit different than mine, so it'll be even better when they hear it the second time. So I'm just going to go over this with you and talk about why we put it on here, why we thought it was important, and why we think it'll help you take your business to the next level. Is that fair enough? First one, building attitude and knowledge. First thing we're going to do is go over reporting activities and reporting accountability. What can we expect from each other for the next week? Because a lot of people on this are going to be brand new in your team, and I know for a fact a lot of the people on here are brand new. So that's okay. So we're going to explain what they're going to do. We're going to show them the sheets. We're going to show them, look, it's not scary. It's simple. This is how you do it. You're going to add names. You're going to try and meet people. I'm going to talk about booking appointments in a minute to make it simpler. This is what we're going to talk about. You're just going to go over this. Make sure they know where to get the information. Make sure they know to go to unfranchisedtraining.com. Make sure they know where to get all this stuff. Don't assume someone knows that stuff. They don't. New partners, and I think it's difficult for some of us that have been in the business for a while. We forget that people don't know what we know. So you take the time. I always say invest the time in your new partner. Your new partner, if they become successful in this business, are worth millions of dollars to you. They're worth investing some time and taking some time with them and walking them through this stuff. Don't make them feel like they're bugging you to get the information. Take the time to show them where to get. So you're going to go over all that with them and show them how to do that. Show how each teammate should fill out the accountability sheet. I just talked about that. Explain how you will collect. You meaning collect their spreadsheet. Basically, all you have to do is have them snap a picture of it, click, and text it to you. Problem solved. Then the team captain will tally up the points, post it on the team Facebook page, and post it on the Facebook page, our global 6x6, so Jody and I can see the points. We can keep track of new partners. For your team, we can keep track of new UFO levels, but we're going to keep a spreadsheet that you're going to fill out too that I'm going to talk about at the end today. So show them how to take a picture and post the information. We want to keep it simple. Everyone can take a picture. They don't have to scan it and email it. They don't have to do anything. They just take a picture and text it to you. Couldn't be easier, right? Explain how crucial it is that teammates are accountable. Please don't make the captains chase you for your accountability. Now, I say that because I've been a captain on teams forever, and there's always some people that don't turn in their forms. Listen, we all made an agreement to each other. You agreed to it. I didn't force anyone to be on this video broadcast. I didn't force anyone to be on this global thing. You're here because you want to be, and I respect you for it. But let's be accountable to each other, and let's respect each other and have some integrity. Send in the forms. Listen, you're going to have some bad weeks. Life gets in the way sometimes. Sometimes our kids get into trouble. Sometimes our marriages get into trouble. Sometimes we have a death or an illness in the family. Things can happen where you may have a bad week. That doesn't mean don't send in the sheet. I don't care if your sheet says 0. Take a picture and send it into your team captain. We'll get over it. But what I don't want them to have to do is have to chase you down. Fair enough. We're all adults here, so let's just do that. Fair enough. That's what we're doing. Enough talked about that. All right. Week 1 is a team captain. You're going to assign bonus points, activities that build attitude and knowledge. Now, since you're all part of our accountability group, we're going to assign the bonus points for that. Since this week is about attitude and knowledge, the bonus points this week are going to be you have to have purchased your book. Hopefully, I saw most people already got it, and I was reading through this before we started this accountability group. When I was talking to Elizabeth last week about it, and someone posted on the Facebook group, made it really simple. There's a free download you can get through an app that she put up there. You can research it, and I actually downloaded it, and I started listening to it on audio. The funny thing was, reading it, I got a completely different take than I did from listening to it on audio. So I've been doing both now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm getting more out of it. This is probably the most amazing book that you can read to help you get started in this business. And I've read it several times, and I'm reading it again and listening to it, and all the stuff comes back to me. A lot of it I've forgotten, and I'm getting back to it, and everything's starting to change, and the gates are opening up again, and I'm meeting more people and booking more appointments. So if you have this book and you purchased it or you downloaded it, that's going to be the bonus points for this week. So give yourself the bonus points. Also, I would hopefully you've listened to Putting It All Together. That was the audio choice I picked this week. JR is Putting It All Together, ADL 159.1 and 2. Probably one of my favorite audios in the audio collection. He talks about fast track groups. He talks about the 90-day. I would just switch that to 6 week. But other than that audio is spot on. It's one of my favorites because JR just simplifies everything. And so I want you to listen to that because I think it'll really help you with your business and the attitude and knowledge. So that's cool. We're going to assign the bonus points. And it could be in the future when you run your own 6-week accountability group, you might choose a meet-on video that you want everyone to watch that week. You might choose a YouTube video that you want everyone to watch that week. It can be whatever you decide it to be, but it should be result producing. Something that's going to help them with attitude and knowledge. Does this make sense? I think it's pretty straightforward. For instance, I was just saying, if you purchased the book, you get the points this week. It's easy. So if you're following along on this, you'll see this is going to break it down for you when you go through it with your team. You can just elaborate and put your thoughts into this thing. Discuss how to book appointments. So in your first week when you get together, you need to get together. And this is something that it's kind of funny for me to talk about because when we started the business, I am an introvert, not an extrovert. And for me to do role playing activities is very far outside of my comfort zone. And we used to do these at our corings, and I used to hate it. But I realize how powerful it is, and it's a needed activity because I find you get better at it. And now I'm actually pretty good at it, even though 8 years ago I was terrible at it. So I share these things with people because you have to know I was not good at this stuff. I was terrible at it. But I got better because I practiced. So the role playing approaches. Why would you role play approaches? Live practicing makes a difference. You need to get used to asking people, do you keep your business options open? Or you have a great personality. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't want to lose my place in the market. I'll give you an example. One of my partners, Mr. Pat Goody, is a great business UFO. He's a very coachable and he listens. So Jody and I have always said the easiest way is just to walk up to someone, strike up a conversation. And it was funny because he just listened to this book on the way back from Greensboro, and I'm telling you, it helped him because he posted on our Global 6x6. Maybe some of you read it, where he met a guy at the gas station today and just struck up a conversation with him and started asking the guy questions. And if you read this book, it tells you the one person people like to talk about is themselves. And if you want to make friends with people, let them start telling you about themselves and just listen to them. And when the more they tell you, the more you get out of it, the more they like you talking about themselves. And it was kind of interesting because as he was telling me the story this morning, I was saying, Pat, it's this book, it's the book, and it is the book. But he finally just asked the guy questions and started a conversation until the guy finally asked him, so what are you doing? Pat tells me he owns a string of internet franchises. My favorite thing. And the guy goes, what's that? And he goes, well, it's kind of like an Amazon.com, but we franchise it out. We show people how to convert spending into earning. We're expanding in the area. Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your business options open? And the guy immediately said yes and couldn't get his card out fast enough to hand it to Pat. So he's getting a number just by simply striking up a conversation. Elizabeth Weber has always said this. If you follow Elizabeth, she'll tell you become a friend-making machine. And you have to become a friend-making machine. But what you really have to do is get the phone number and fill the bean jar. So, because Pat wasn't probably ever going to see that guy again, he had to get the phone number. So his simple question was what Jody came up with and what we do all the time. Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your business options open? The guy said, of course, I'm always looking to make more money. And Pat said, great, I'm looking for some people to help me with that expansion I'm doing in the area. Give me your contact information. I'll have one of my people call you. It's that easy. Simply sets it up. Now he's got his information. He'll follow up with him tomorrow, book an appointment. So much easier than trying to drag your friends to an HBP or a UBP. So that was good. So that's why it's important to do those approaches in a safe environment a few times so you don't fumble over the words and you can practice it. Because the only way to get good at this is to do it out loud a few times. So that's why the role playing really is important. Or the other one is you have a great personality. You can strike up a conversation. Same thing. He could have done the same thing in this situation and said, "Man, you got a great personality. You'd be great in my business." The guy would immediately say, "Well, what do you do?" And he'd say, "I have a string of internet franchises. We're doing a big expansion in the area. We're looking for some key people. Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your business options open?" It would have gone right into the same thing. The guy would have said yes. He would have had the number, and now he's booked an appointment. This is how he's constantly filling his funnel. This is what we're going to talk about for the next 6 to 7 weeks. How to book appointments, how to get people in front of the business plan, because that's why you're all on here, isn't it? We want to book appointments and get them in there. So we're going to talk about this stuff on a weekly basis, different approaches, things that you can do. Rapid fire questions. That's another thing we're going to talk about. Rapid fire questions. What's that? Well, what's that? Rapid fire questions are important too. You're going to break up into groups and someone's going to ask you, so what do you do? And you're going to have to tell them. I own a string of internet franchises. Well, what's that? Well, it's kind of like an Amazon.com that I franchise out. It's a new concept we're bringing in. You're going to have an answer for it because when someone asks you, what do you do? Well, what do you tell them? You have to know what to say. You can't fumble and stumble over the words. So it's important to do these corings and get together with your team and do this stuff out loud. This is how you get good at it. I don't think any of us are great at this when we start, unless you came from a network marketing background. This is not skills that most of us have. So we want to keep it simple and fun. And if you do this in an environment where you're around your friends and it's safe, you can do it so that you're not scared and you can have fun doing it. So we're going to ask other questions like maybe someone say, well, what is a product broker? Well, do you have the answer to that? Some of you do it. Some of you might not know how to answer it. I always say it means we don't manufacture anything. We find the people, when we know we have enough people looking for a certain product in a market, we contract with the company that makes the best product in that market. We have them make it for us, put our label on it, then we can purchase it at wholesale and deliver it for a much more competitive price. That's what I say when someone asks what a product broker is. What are some other questions they might say? What is a string of internet franchises? That's what I always say. I own a string of internet franchises. They always say, well, what's that? Because they have no idea what that is. That's why I say it, and that's why Pat used it, and it works every time. He goes, what's an internet franchise? Well, it's kind of like an Amazon.com that we franchise out. We show people how to convert spending into earning, create an annuity that can start paying them back in as little as 2 to 3 years. Would that interest you? We want to get more information. These are the sorts of things. Maybe they would ask you, what is this one of those pyramid things? Well, what's your answer going to be? People hate that question. Is this one of those pyramid things? I say, what do you mean by that? What's a pyramid? They don't know what to say when I say it. They'll say like one of those multi-level marketing. I say, no, we're nothing like that. This is a new concept. There's nothing been done like this. Let me show you. See, I love it when people say that. When people ask me, is this one of those pyramid things? I say, no, what do you mean by that? And they'll say, well, one of those things. I say, no, we're nothing like that. This is a new business concept. Let me show you. Because it sets me up to book the appointment. Let me show you. Let me show you. That's my fallback every time. Let me show you. What's another? What is a shopping annuity? Can you explain what a shopping annuity is? See, these are the things that you're going to want to go over. You're coring with your team and make sure. Don't assume people know these things. They do not know how to answer these questions. It's taken me 8 years now to get to the point where I'm bulletproof with these questions. But the new people aren't. We didn't have someone coaching us through this, so this stuff is really going to help you. There's only a few questions. There's only a few objections to our business. And I really just went over 90% of them right there. But can you explain a shopping annuity? You need to be able to. That's why I use my TV analogy and I break down advertising. And I'm going to post that video on here so you'll be able to get it if you don't know what I'm talking about. We'll make it really simple for everyone to get access. The people on this 6-week accountability group, I'm going to make everything I can super accessible to you. I posted my video showing the plan. That was the old plan. I'm doing a UBP Thursday. I'm going to videotape that. And I'm going to make that available to people that want to see how I show the new plan. So you can maybe take some pointers out of that if you want to see how I explain it. Maybe you can use some of that and when you explain it. That's basically what we're going to do. So I'm going to try and make this as easy as possible for you all to learn how to show the plan, the terminology to use, sophisticated tracking system, what is a shopping annuity, explaining how I do it. Because I honestly, I got to tell you, I cannot remember the last time I talked to someone who wasn't interested. And that's just because we've tried it, tested it, and we've got it down to a system where we know this is going to work. We've been able to duplicate it in our organization. We're seeing other people having the same sorts of results we're having. It's not just me. It was a duplicatable system that we were able to teach our team. They're now duplicating it in their team, and we're just seeing duplication, which is what we want. We're going to assign team, and there's more things you can talk about, but you'll come up with some of your own. And if you have questions or if you want more things to talk about, or if you think we should add some other ones in there, let me put it on the How to 6 or the Global 6x6. I want to hear them. If you've heard other objections, let's hear what they are. Let's see what my answer would be to them, or some of our advisors or other people participating in the group. We can all learn from each other. That's the fun behind this. That's why I'm so excited about it, where we have this open forum. I want to talk a little bit about that before we close out, why this is so powerful for a lot of us. We're going to assign team homework every week. I mean, it's not going to be anything that's going to kill you or be too much work for you. It's just going to be something that we want you to do each week. It may be watching a video on prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. It may be watching a YouTube video. I'm going to give you some homework right now for this week, and hopefully you'll reiterate it in your team corings this week. I want everyone to watch the call workshop by Shane Krangle that he puts on the Moving Up Seminar. Why? Because I think it's a fantastic video. I think it explains exactly how you should make phone calls to book appointments. I don't think new partners should be making phone calls by themselves. I think they should make the phone calls to their friends themselves, but not by themselves. Meaning, I think their senior partner should be there coaching them through, listening to what they're saying. But first, you should be watching that call workshop video. Shane does a great job explaining it, where he says, hey, listen, I only got a second. I got to ask some questions. But then your team captain can coach you through what you should say. Listen, because I usually listen to a new person make a few calls. The first couple, they usually say too much or don't say the right things, but I can coach them quickly. The next call, they do better. By the time you do the third or the fourth one, they got it down pat and they're booking appointments. And as soon as they book one appointment, they're so excited that they want to make more calls and book more appointments. And that's all this is, getting people in front of the best business opportunity out there. So there's going to be homework. This week, the homework is watch the call workshop video. Even if you've watched it before, watch it again. Fair enough. We're going to discuss, what else we're going to do? The best one of all. We're going to make calls each week in your quorum. There has to be time to break off and try and book some appointments. Get together. Each new partner should get together with a senior partner. If you're in long distance, you can do it virtually on your Facebook group. I'm looking at my computer here, sorry. But you can do it. You can log on to your team Facebook group and say, hey, I want to call so-and-so. Let your mentor or a senior partner give you some pointers on maybe how to approach that phone call. But again, you're going to basically follow the script. Hey, listen, I only got a second. The reason I'm calling, I don't know if I told you this, I opened a new business. It's internet-based. I'd like to get together and show you how it works. When can we get together and grab a cup of coffee? And just follow the script and just book the appointments. And just go over that stuff. So each week, we want to get together and make phone calls. Why? This accountability group is about recruiting. This is a business of building a business. We are here to learn, and we're here to have fun, but we're here to grow our business. And we've got the best thing out there. I'm telling you right now, nothing comes close to us. There's not another business out there that can even compete with us. So we want to make sure that we're adding new partners every single week. And if you're new to this, or if you've been in the business for a while, that's okay. Let's make it a goal to try and book at least one appointment a week to show the plan. I would say 30 plans in 30 days, but if that's too aggressive for you, try and show someone the plan every day, every week, at least one person. If you show the plan to one person a week for 4 weeks, you're going to sponsor one, I guarantee it. The statistics prove it. 1 out of 4 will do it, even if you show the worst plan out there. So we want to focus on getting people in front of the plan. Each and every week, we're going to do that. We're going to do a call workshop. Now, it's easier when you learn how to meet new people to fill that funnel, because it's easier to book the appointments with people that you do not know. I know people think that's crazy, but it's just the truth. It's easier to build this business with people that you don't know. The people you know are the hardest ones to book the appointments with. So it's good to learn how to approach people with that approach that I talked about that you're going to go over in your forums this week. And if you don't understand all that, you can ask questions on the Facebook group and we'll answer. So you can do a call workshop. And it might be to book them to a retail event. It might be to show them your website. It might be to show them the business plan. It might be to sell them a product. It can be for anything, but the goal is to make some phone calls, to follow up with people or do some other things. While I'm on that point, let me put this out there too. And a year ago, I wouldn't have said this, so it's kind of interesting. This is evolving as we do it, as the business has evolved in the last 8 years I've been in it. Lately, I found a lot of people don't like to answer their phones. I'm one of them. I'm busy, and sometimes I know if I answer a phone call, it can go an hour, and I don't have an hour. So what I've found lately is I almost get better responses texting people to book an appointment. Say, hey, could you get back to me? I'd like to talk to you about something. Because the reason I think it works better in this day and age is people know that you're going to know that they saw that text. You're going to know if that text was delivered, they got it. So they'll get back to you, because a lot of people don't even listen to their voicemail anymore. A lot of people don't answer the phone because they don't want to get caught up in a 30-minute conversation because they just don't have the time or the attention span to do it. But texting, I have had way better luck in the last 6 months with texting people to book appointments than I have calling them. Or I'll text them and say, hey, can you give me a call? And they'll call me back. I'd say, I only got a second, but could you give me a call? I just got to ask you something quick. They will call me back, or at least get back to me. And that's how we've been booking more appointments lately. So don't be afraid to text someone if you're afraid to pick up the phone and call them, because sometimes you'll get better response with the text, believe it or not. And again, if you had asked me that a year ago, I would have said the absolute opposite. What I think, we've evolved, and we are used to texting now. Whether you're 75 years old or 16, that's the world we live in. Snapchat, instant gratification, short attention spans. Texting works now to book appointments. So don't be afraid to sit down and text some people. And if they don't follow up, text them back and say, hey, did you get my message? Don't be afraid. Listen, get them in front of the plan. They're going to thank you later. That's all I have to say about that. Okay? So get the calls booked. This is important too. I'm sorry we're going a little long tonight, but this is important to go over this stuff. Set your weekly SABP chunks standard. What do I mean by that? Break down this, again, this group, you guys, the elite global 6x6ers, should be laser focused on hitting the SABP, the shopping annuity bonus program. If you're not looking at your chart, you should. Each one of you on this team, if you're on my team, I'm going to be looking at your shopping annuity bonus program report. Each captain, you should be looking at each person, have them send you a copy of their shopping annuity bonus report. Not so we can embarrass anybody, not so we're trying to call somebody out. Please don't think that's my goal. My goal is to simply help you analyze where your shortcomings are in your business. And we all have them. We're weak in retail. We do not have enough of a customer base. I've been talking to some partners that are good at it, and I want to get better at it. Arlene Lowy wants to teach me how she moves more OPC than any other distributor in this company, and I'm willing to listen to her, and I can't wait to listen to her and learn from her because I need that information. That's my weakness. Other people are weak in shopping at partner stores, which means they just don't understand how to convert their spending because it saves them money. But by looking at the shopping annuity bonus program report, we can easily see where their shortfall is, and we can say, look, let's work on this together. So it's important to, how do I put this? This 6x6, this global 6x6 team, we put this together for a reason. We put the 6x6 together for a reason. It's just an accountability group where we're going to be accountable basically to ourselves, but it's all about transparency. It's not about hiding anything. It's not about calling someone out. It's not about embarrassing anyone. It's about, we care about each other. We want to help each other make money. So we've got to be honest with each other. And sometimes it's hard to do that because, let's face it, with this business, our circle of friends becomes our business partners a lot of times because those are the people I spend a lot of time with, and I become friends with my partners. And sometimes it's hard to have an honest conversation with your friend and cross that line into business and friendship. It gets blurred, right? You all know what I'm talking about. But that's not what we're doing this for. This is about transparency. And a lot of you reached out to me this last week and said, I've been in the business 12 years and I haven't done anything. And I'm kind of, I'm almost ashamed of it. But here's the thing, I've had people say 3 years, I'm only executive coordinator, 4 years, and kind of apologizing for it. And I'm like, look, that's not what this is about. The beauty of this business, and one of the things I love about it, is this business starts fresh every single day. And we're here to help each other and pick each other up and learn from each other and create like a culture of support for our teams. And right now, all of you on this broadcast and the people that watch the recorded version, the 1,200 of us, we're on one team. We're going to embrace each other for the next 7 weeks, learn from each other, teach each other, lift each other up, not tear each other down. So when I ask you to post this stuff, I don't care if your report says 0. Good, now we know where we're starting from, okay? We haven't done anything. Great, that's easy. We can fix that because anything's better than nothing, right? So don't take it the wrong way. We're not here to knock each other down or embarrass anybody or calling one out. That's what I love about this. That's the nice reason we have this global 6x6 forum. We can interact with each other in a safe environment. We don't have to be scared that somebody's going to think less of us because we don't know the answer to this, or we haven't done that, or we don't know where to find that. But that's the beauty of it. Listen, you're going to fail. If you want to be an entrepreneur and make a ton of money, like some of us are now in this business, we failed a lot to get where we are. Trial and error got us where we are. That's where we're trying to shortcut some of those errors for you and teach you things that we've learned that we made mistakes on. We didn't have anyone teaching us this stuff, so We're trying to shortcut the failure part and get you to the success part quicker. But we're here to edify each other. We're here to pick each other up. There's going to be ups and downs. There always is. If you haven't felt down in this business, you haven't tried. You haven't even started yet. But the beauty of it too is when you start reading books like this, and I've got a whole stack over here. I'm going to go over next week too. Other ones that I love that I'm currently reading and have read. The personal growth you can get out of this business is mind-boggling. Sometimes it's worth more than the money. I think it is worth more than the money. I know for me personally, it has been because I went from knowing none of this stuff to I have educated myself. I read books that I have never even heard of. The personal growth you get is worth its weight in gold. Sometimes that's worth more. But you got to get out of your comfort zone to get there. Listen, keep the main thing the main thing. Two lead to two, lead to two, lead to two, lead to two, lead to 1,000. And that's why we're doing this. We're going to focus on booking appointments. We're going to focus on getting to events and getting ourselves educated. We're going to focus on getting our heads in the right place with education, with audios, by listening to JR, by reading books and educating ourselves and brainwashing ourselves for the right stuff instead of the wrong stuff, that 45-year plan that we're all taught to do that failed most of us miserably and is killing this state nation, and most of the countries around the world right now are struggling. Look at the stuff that's going on in the news. I can't even turn on the news anymore because everything's going on. My mission with this is really to change the world. And I know it sounds crazy, but when I heard JR say it the first year I went to a convention, and he talked about if we could unite the world with a business model like we have, where I have partners in Singapore, I have partners in Vietnam, or I have partners in South Korea, and I have partners in Yugoslavia or China or India. I'm not going to raise arms against my paycheck and shoot my paycheck. I have friends now all over the world, and I appreciate all of you more than you know, and I'm glad a lot of you are on this group right now. I really, really, I love you all to death. You have no idea. I used to have 6 friends in my life. Now I've got thousands of friends around the world. This has changed my life, and it can do the same for you. That's why I'm so passionate about getting the word out there. But listen, even if you're brand new in this, I want you to focus on showing 30 plans in the 6 weeks. Just make it, even if you just tell people you're practicing, you want to get good at showing a flip chart. If everyone doesn't have the new flip chart, get the new flip chart. And listen, let's make this the best 6 weeks ever. Let's show JR and Warren that we really can globally unite this company. We can all work together because this is going to make it so much easier for what they're trying to do. When you have friends in the UK and one of your new partners has someone he knows in the UK and you can plug them in with someone you're friends with now, or you have friends in Singapore because you communicated on this Facebook forum, and now someone in your team comes out and they have family in Singapore or the Philippines or Malaysia or Indonesia or Australia, and you now have friends that you can plug them into in Australia, and your friends in Australia can plug their friends they know in the States or in the UK or in Mexico or in Toronto, Canada, or anywhere in Canada. We can change the world with this business. I am so excited about this. You all have no idea where I think this is going to go. I want to thank you all for taking the time to get on tonight. Let's go. Make sure you book your team appointments, even if they're virtual. Get together. Go over this stuff with your teams, okay? If you have any questions about tonight, ask them on the 6x6 Facebook group. I'm watching the things, but I can't even read all the stuff that's going so fast for me. I want to look at what you guys are talking about, and it's driving me crazy that I can't. I wish I could see all this afterwards. But I appreciate y'all more than you know. I believe in all of you more than you believe in yourselves, and I mean that with all my heart. And I think we're going to change the world with this, and we're going to change. I know we're going to change the company. My goal is 1,000 partners before World Conference. I think we can do more than that. And we're just getting started right now. So let's go out and make this week our kickoff week. Let's do our best to get out there and just book some appointments, show some plans, take this to the next level. We love all you guys. Thank you all for taking the time to get on tonight. I'm sorry I went a little long. I'll try and keep you shorter than this. But let's go out there and make it happen. I'll see you all at the top.